primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Does your team need a vision to become a high-performing team? Well, in the last episode, we talked about your role as a leader in developing your team into a high-performing team. Remember, there are 5 must-dos to successfully create and develop that culture. Cast the vision, connect and develop influence, listen and ask questions, balance care and candor, and drive accountability. In this episode, we're going to be focusing on the first point, casting the vision. Well, it's great to have you back on Let's Lead Better, influencing improvement in carrier maintenance. For those of you who are just joining me for the very first time, my name is Kelly Souders, part of your Carrier Team 1 team, and I'm so excited to be here with you today and help you lead better. In the last few weeks, I was listening to a podcast that made a comparison of vision to a rudder on a ship, and I thought it was a great analogy for our naval maintenance community. The ship can move through the water without the rudder, but it'll get off course, and who knows where it will end up. So, just like the rudder brings direction to the ship, your vision statement brings direction to your team. Leaders, you've got to start off right. You've got to cast the vision, set the direction. John Maxwell states in his Law of Navigation that anyone can steer the ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course. Well, one of my dear friends has a great story to illustrate that law.
Okay, put this in perspective. I had done some sailing in college, okay? Done it on the larger boats. So I'm thinking now, 10 years later, when I've got a family with a 10-year-old, 8-year-old, 5-year-old, hey, we could take a family sailing vacation. So I rent a 32-footer out of Rock Hall, Maryland, thinking, what could go wrong? We're going to be out for like 4 days. This is great. My wife had taken sailing classes also, thinking she's good. My son had done sailing in Boy Scouts, a little tiny sailfish. So we go and head out. Everything's going pretty good, but, I'd sort of not taken into account that my petite wife and my small children were a little small to be handling those coffee grinder winches, okay? So I'm basically solo sailing. And quite frankly, from all the, cranking and pulling, cranking, I'm a little tired. So we reached one point in the bay. We're out in the middle of the bay, beautiful area, and I'm thinking, well, you know what? I'm just going to do a little power nap. We've got this long tack. We can just do that. I'm going to take 10 minutes. My wife's like, okay, yeah, take a break. My oldest son's there. I said, okay, here's the deal. See that building over there? I'm pointing to it maybe 4 or 5 miles off to the horizon. Okay, you see a building on the shore. I said, that's what we're going for. It's right there. I said, but along the way, we're in the Chesapeake Bay. There's a lot of crab pots. The floats are all over the place. You don't want those things tangled up in your rudder, right? I said, and make sure you evade these. So, do a little dodging around there. Oh, got it. My son's up there on the bow. He's watching out for it. Okay, good. I go down below. Come up about 10, 15 minutes later. I look around. I'm like, where are we? I don't see my landmark. I don't even recognize the shore. And my wife's like, but we avoided the crab pots. I said, great. That's awesome. Yeah, there's no crab pot found in the rudder. This is great. But where are we? She says, oh, I was avoiding. I said, where's that point of land? Did you guys turn? I said, I didn't recognize anything. She says, I kind of stopped looking at that. She says, we were making sure we didn't hit any crab pots. And it dawned on me like, wow, that's awesome. We took care of the immediately. We took care of the immediate stuff, avoiding crab pots. But along the way, we stopped pursuing our vision. So kind of crazy. Good news is we're all fine and safe, and it's something we laugh about now. But wow, what a metaphor, right?
Thank you, Paul. That was a great illustration of how we can get distracted and easily off course when we're only focusing on the crab pots in front of us and we take our eyes off the horizon, the vision. So what about our organization's vision, the bigger picture? Leaders, you need to make sure your team's vision statements are in line with your organization's vision because we are all part of achieving that vision. So now that we have shown it is essential that we have a vision statement that drives the direction of our team, How do you transfer that vision to your team? Well, think about it. What do you need in order to, let's say, follow my vision? Well, a few things come to mind. You would want me to be credible. Can you trust me? You've bought into what I say I'm going to do. Am I honest? Do I follow up on what I say? You would want me to be excited about what I'm doing and where I'm taking the team. Do I have passion about what I'm doing? Passion really creates the energy for the team. You would want to know that I care about you, which is all about relationships. You know, people don't really care what you know until they know that you care. And you would want to be part of something bigger, because we all want to be part of something bigger than ourselves. Purpose drives direction. I bet you all notice that all these actions are part of level 2, permission. Because in developing these relationships, you really gain value, trust, and connection. One thing I want you to notice is that your team's vision statement really drives behavior. We just talked about a few things you as a leader need to do to cast vision. But what about production, level 3? Because at the end of the day, we all care about results. I think we can all agree that timing is everything. Leaders, you need to make sure the timing is right. For vision to connect, it's important to have the right timing. Remember, leaders know more and before those on your team. To execute your vision and your mission successfully, your team needs to understand it, to have clarity. You need to be able to communicate this well to them as leaders. You need to set targets and goals that align with your organization's value. Let's go back to the sailing metaphor for just a moment. Those goals are markers along the route, really help you stay on course, because let's face it, a really good vision is probably just over the horizon and you don't want to get off course. And develop strategies. Strategies really provide the framework to a vision, in a sense, how we're going to do it. Well, that brings us back to the question at the very beginning. Does your team need a vision to become a high-performing team? Absolutely yes. Admiral Rickover had 2 sayings posted on his wall. One was from the book of Proverbs in the Bible, and it said, "Where there is no vision, people will perish." Pretty serious. And what does that really mean? Well, it means that we need someone who is looking off to the horizon, or we're in trouble. Leaders, being a vision caster is not a nice to have, it's a must do. Even with good intentions, we want to make sure we're not focusing on the crab pots in front of us, but we're looking off in the horizon at the vision so we can stay on course. Because in this day and age, we cannot afford to not execute the mission. And for those of us in the naval community, it is to deliver our carriers, our ships, and our systems reliably and on time to the Navy to execute her mission. Well, it's been great hanging out with you today, and I look forward to continuing to dive into level 2 and 3 relationships on how we can develop our good performing teams into high performing teams. In the next episode, we'll be exploring how connection leads to trust and how you as a leader are part of that. Meanwhile, have a great week. Keep on asking, improving, and sharing your knowledge. I look forward to the next step in our growth journey on Let's Lead Better, influencing improvement in carrier maintenance.
Every 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Welcome back to Let's Lead Better.